So it's funny. I originally thought the last episode was going to be the finale, and when I had started the last episode, the episode before that, or like 2 episodes before that, I thought it was going to be the finale. And then when I first started this series, I thought episode 5 would be about the finale. And welcome back to part 16 of SCTPN Pong Plays. I'm your host, Sensei Pong. I had like this big plan for December, but never followed through. I had some big plans for November, and then life kind of caught up with me, and I couldn't really do them. And I apologize to my regular audience that are actually waiting for like VGT to come out. And I promise you that I do have one thing I should be recording right now, but this and some other things have been getting in the way. So I apologize to Mooka for that. She knows what game I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was supposed to start, like, at the beginning of December. Never got around to it. But you're not watching this Let's Play for my rambling. Because a final glimpse at the 4 faces of my teammates underscores the need to win tomorrow. Nothing else needs to be said. I already read this. Failure is not an option. End scene. That's the end of the game. That would be funny if it was. It's just like, just leaves it at a cliffhanger, like, you decide what happens. I highly doubt that's the case, because now we have a new sentence here. It won't be in this apartment. I won't be in this apartment for much longer. But I'm gonna leave it on my own term. How you feeling, Mock? Eh? I blink my eyes and rub them awake. An hour of warm-up at the studio has left me with only 15 minutes before the match is set to begin. The powder on my face feels weird. Standard procedure for all broadcasted matches, or so the makeup artist said. Behind Mr. Kim, a small crowd filters into the stage area. The semifinals for the Victory Star League begins right after the show match, so it's unlikely that everyone is here just to watch me and Bolt play. But judging by the number of people sporting the black and white colors of Shock T1, there are at least a few. Oh, Mr. Kim, sorry, I'm well. Good. Best of luck in your match. Let's hope that this is the beginning of a long and fruitful partnership. I lower my head in a curt bow. I appreciate it. Mr. Kim matches my bow with a nod, and then slips around the corner and into the studio. I'm allowed only a minute of time to myself before the businessman's presence is replaced by a Kells. Ready? Yeah, I'm ready. And I am. I stretch out my wrists and crack my knuckles to emphasize it. And pop my joints out of place and twist a carpal. And I'm out of the game. Good, let's go. Hardcore! But before we can get into that, we have a special match for the VSTL begins. Oh, before the VSTL begins, don't we? That's right. Most of you likely heard the news of Akel and Jen have left their teams to begin their own. Regardless of how the fans feel, one must admit that it's quite an ambitious decision. Certainly, but today we have a match to decide whether those two will have their risk pay off. A generous prize from Enoch Group has allowed us to host a show match between 2 wildly different players. A new sponsor, how exciting! On top... I can't do this voice. On top of that, it's refreshing to see the KPGA has finally begun to embrace StarCraft 2. How much do we know about the protest Bolt? He is a very strong player from Shock T1, but this is his first appearance in a StarCraft 2 match, isn't that right? We'll have to see how his Brood War skills translate. What about his opponent, Mock? Do we know much about him? There was very little information available about him online, so we must assume that he is an amateur. All the same, He must be quite skilled for Jet and Akel to call him their teammate. It dawns on me that this match is probably being broadcasted online. Should I have told my parents or friends to tune in and... should I have told my parents and friends to tune in and watch? No. Enough. I'm tired of observing over acceptance from everyone back home. This has nothing to do with them. Now let's get the comments from our players. Please welcome Bolt and Mock. A production assistant gestures me forward and I step out onto the stage. Bolt approaches from the other side, standing just as few feet from me as we come to a stop. He gives me a wave and a few dozen people erupt into cheers. Among them are screams of at least 10 fangirls. With a microphone in hand, he addresses the crowd with a charming disposition, completely opposite from every interaction I've shared with them. First, I would like to thank fans for coming today. I've worked hard to prove that KPGA players will place first in StarCraft 2 championships in the near future. I've always performed well under pressure throughout my pro gaming career, but today I don't think that I have much to worry about. The comment draws a few laughs from the audience, KPGA fans and not. He continues, I am confident that I'll only drop one map today. My opponent's year of StarCraft 2 must have earned him at least one win against my single week. That's just an outright lie. But judging from the crowd's reaction, they're buying it completely. Foreigners could never compete in Brood War. I'm here to prove that the same is true in StarCraft 2. I promise to show you all good games. Please cheer for me. He lifts a fist into another uproar of applause. What a fake piece of shit. But before I can spend any more time lingering on how much I dislike Bolt, the VSL hostess takes the mic from him and offers it to me. Say a few words to your fans. I was told you can speak Korean, correct? Before I know it, the microphone is in my hand. I try my best not to look bewildered and turn my attention to the audience. Hello, I'm Mock. I want to thank my team for helping me prepare for today's match and the Enoch group for sponsoring the show match. I will do my best to win. Thank you. The earnest approach earns me a polite response from the crowd, though not one that comes close to matching Bolt's. Please shake hands and go to your booths. Bum bum bum. Bolt is first to turn. His smile, no doubt designed and manufactured in the underground KPGA laboratory, belies the edge I see in his eyes. Din din din, poker battle. He offers his hand. I reached forward to take it for a single shake. I hope you practiced hard. I gotta do a voice. I am going to destroy you. I hope that actually came in. I did, don't worry. Not likely, I really want to see you lose. That's good. It should be the same to disappointment. It would be a shame to disappoint the fans with an uneven series. It doesn't matter what you want. You're trash, and after this you'll never forget it. Agreed. Let's make sure to show exciting games. Easy to say. Let's see if you can actually do it, bro. We separate without incident, and I turn to take my place in the booth. Jet stands outside the door with my keyboard, mouse, and mousepad in hand. What the hell is this? She drops the keypad into my hand. I think that's my Windows key. It doesn't belong on a pro gamer's keyboard. Fat fingering that in a battle will tab you out and lose you the game. She huffs and breaks eye contact. It's obvious that she's at least as stressed as I am. Jet, I've got this. Bum bum bum. I know. Do your best, Mock. Fighting. With a nod, she pushes open the booth door. Actually, that is true. I hate hitting that Windows button sometimes in mid-game and just closes out. Once inside the ambient, I've never done any serious gaming on a computer, but when I'm in the middle of a tense game, just on my own time, sometimes hitting that button becomes an annoyance. It doesn't happen very often for me because I'm well aware of it, but whatever. Once inside, the ambient sound of the stage, lights, cameras, and screens die down. All I can hear is a subtle hum of the crowd and my own pulse. Boom, boom. It would be peaceful, if not for the adrenaline burning through my veins. This is my first time inside of a booth. My heart is racing. Nothing I try to tell myself as I plug in my peripherals and configure my settings helps to calm it. Playing in front of a crowd in the VSL has been a goal of mine for more than a year. Even with how hard I've been working, it feels like there should have been more build-up to this moment. Yet, here I am. I reach out to touch the soundproofing material, if only to allow my senses to confirm that the moment is real. Even as I try to keep my focus away from the crowd and on the game, I keep glancing past the computer monitor and towards my teammates seated in the front row. They wave and cheer at me as the studio lights dim. I force myself to look back at the PC and focus entirely on the match at hand. Everything I've done over the past week? No. The months I've been in Korea, and even the time before that, it all leads up to this moment. Alright, Bolt. Well, let's read these stats real fast. Well-rounded, favors aggression. Professional Brood War player, but not a professional StarCraft 2 player. The second the loading screen ends, I put the plan into action. I rush one of my starting SCVs across the map. But I'm not sending it to his base. It comes to a stop on the outskirts of the 4th base location. It's only barely closer to his base than mine, honestly. But it's close enough to buy me some precious seconds. We've called this build Proxy Everything. Depot, gas, racks, reactor, FAC, starport. I've drilled it to perfection, hit every timing within the second. Bolt didn't even scout. He'll pay for that mistake. My dropship rushes straight into his base at the timing that normally wouldn't be possible. Every single one of those extra seconds is precious. Perfect! I unload my Hellion straight into his mineral line. He was completely unprepared. He tries to escape with his workers, but I'm too quick in giving chase. I'm not letting you get away, Bolt. My Hellions weave past his slow-moving army and deal another blow to his economy. That one must have crippled him. He remains in the game only as an act of defiance. With my victory assured, I march into his base with an overwhelming force and take a fight on his turf. Bing! Ch! He scrapes together a final fence and actually manages to dent my army, though it's not enough to swing the game back. Bing! Not bad, but game 1 is mine. Yay! A gentle knock at the door behind me catches my attention while the studio prepares for the next game. A moment later, the door slides open. Just as planned. Well executed, Mock. Seriously, where did you of all people come up with a build like that? Just because I loathe cheese does not mean I will not admit that it is occasionally useful and appropriate. I guarantee we'll be seeing it in a ladder for the next month. With luck, they will call it the Mock build. Maintain your momentum. Fighting. She hurries out of the booth and back to her seat in the crowd when I nod. Just as before, the studio lights dim and the second match gets underway. Phew, okay, keep it cool. The momentum is in my favor now. I should make use of this breathing room. We need to find out how Bolt's going to be playing for the rest of the set. He went for a standard expansion last game, but I wasn't able to see his army as intended. The map is good for two-base play. I should definitely go for drops, but I still need to decide on an opening. Grab a quick expansion, lean on him with some early pressure, feint an aggressive strategy. Ah! Whoa, wait a second. Bolt is proxy gating me. I waited too long. God damn it, I didn't even consider the possibility. I veer my game plan in a defensive direction, but Bolt's attack is already overwhelming my mineral line. Even with all the practice I had against stunts rushes, there's nothing I can do when caught so off guard. For every step forward, I take my SCV and Marine Micro. Bolt seizes 5 with damage to my economy. Alright, so next time, I'm just going to decide real fast, regardless of what I think of the strategy. I think. Maybe that might be a good idea. I don't know. I can't stay in the game any longer and tap out a GG. Just like that, he evened up the series. I barely have time to take my headphones off before I feel a pair of hands clamp down on my shoulders. Keep it up! Stay in the zone! You got this! Ow, ow, okay, enough. You got really lucky. Scouted your base first, and you only barely missed the probe as it came up on your ramp. Whoops. No, return. Probe as it came up your ramp. Come on, you've been practicing with the future Protoss Bonjour and this macro battery. The next time is yours. The next game is yours for the taking. Yeah, there's no way I'm letting another proxy get by me. That's what I'm talking about. Fighting! Oh, they're all gonna end on the word fighting. Alright, keep it together. There's no way I'll let another proxy get by me. My scout reveals little information, save that he's going for one base tech build. There are several things I need to be prepared for, so I should make sure the front of my base is reinforced. As long as I keep my army on the ramp, I should be able to respond to any flying units. With each second that ticks by, I pull more and more away with the game. Just as long as I don't tech too aggressively and focus on maintaining a sizable army, I should be fine. Huh, did he transition into something more standard? He takes some damage on a scouting stalker before hastily pulling it away. What was that? I should probably double check whether or not he's gotten expansion down. It might be a good call to throw down a missile turret in my main as well, just as precaution. Psh! Blink stalkers! Shit! He had vision on my high ground? Must have been an observer. Why didn't I see that? He's able to pick off several units just as they finish building at my barracks. The numbers advantage heavily on his side. I empty my bunkers and rush them up my ramp, but he turns my own choke point against me and handily defeats my entire army with some ridiculous precise micro. I have nothing left to do but GG and accept the fact that I'm now down a game. Oh, it's close. Knock knock. Yo, how you feeling? Do you want a polite answer or the honest answer? You're playing well. A bolt's been able to sniff out where you're weakest. You need to confront him head on. A macro game with a KPGA Pro? Is that smart? Hey, no one ever said that StarCraft was an easy game. We practice long hours for the moments like this. Show the crowd how hard you've been working. Alright, I won't go down without a fight. Good. Fighting! Hold on, give me a moment. Alright, and unless I'm completely wrong, this feels like a climax. But I've been wrong before on this gameplay. It's turning into a pretty long episode, though. There's no way I'm giving up now. I've already proven to myself that I can beat this guy. Forget the score. Focus on the game. The map is huge, and I opt for a conservative timing on my expansion. Bolts shown an aggressive proclivity towards aggressive play. My scout reveals that we're on equal footing. Alright, time to drop the hammer. It's hammer time. My first drop manages to catch him off with his army out of position. Perfect. He has to be rushing back to defend against this drop. With that knowledge, I rush a second, smaller force into his third base. Shish! He held firm. The second prong of my attack slams right into an overwhelming force. It's too late for me to pull away. That wasn't his entire army. The damage I managed to inflict wasn't nearly worth the cost of those two forces. I'm fine. I still have a decent army. I just need to contest the center of the map. I can't let him take another base. Arrgh! But he's already beat me to the punch. We clash briefly before I order a retreat, frantically reinforcing my wounded army. I can't fall behind. Take more bases. Keep my production going. Come on, I've got to deal some damage. If I just sit here and let him power up, he's gonna roll me. Boom! Stalkers! This kind of pickoff is just what I needed. Yay! Shit, he's preparing an assault on my main. Pull back! I can't defend this. Just before his forces arrive, I get in position at the top of my ramp. It's looking even for a while until... Boom! Ha! This is the type of error in a Brood War player makes. The burden to attack was mine, not his. This game's tempo is back in my favor. Even if I'm still at an economic disadvantage, I need to hit while he's still rebuilding. Gotcha! The mineral line I failed to take down with my previous drop now lies in tatters. Sparkles! And this time, my two-pronged attack catches a weak flank defending his third base. I'm pulling him apart! I'm inflicting crushing economic damage. All I need to do is win one more fight. I'm spending my minerals and gas the second I mine it. My production has been on point all game long. There's absolutely no way this would have been possible without drilling for so many hours. One more fight. Just one more fight. I march across the map and then charge up the ramp at his natural expansion. I maneuver out of the way out of the psi storms and pound the powerful, expensive units at the back of his army. With them all out of the way, I'm able to power through the rest of his force. Yes! He types out a GG when I punch my way into his main base. The series is even. My hands shake. The veins in my neck throb. My palms are covered with sweat. My throat is dry, my eyes hurt, and I can't stop bouncing my leg. Will you calm down? Sheesh. I don't think that's going to be possible. Typical amateur jitters. Don't try to ignore the adrenaline you're feeling. Use it to your advantage. What else do you want me to say? You already know what to do. I don't know. Honestly, I didn't give any thought to how I'd feel if I made it this far. I kind of feel like throwing up, actually. In that case, just imagine how sick you'll be when you win this thing. In more ways than one. Although, enough chit-chat. Get serious, Mock. Fighting. And actually with that, I'm going to say this is going to be the end of the episode. And see how this matchup concludes next time here on Sensei Pong. I'm only cutting off because it seems the timer is going a little over than what I would personally like for these kind of episodes. So, I don't know if I'm going to win this match. You're going to have to find out if you're curious. Next time, here on Sensei Pong.